Needs no introduction. October 14th, Ken will be presenting a 1-hour keynote address entitled Research-Driven Technology. Trends to a group of 100 technology managers from a local company. Littelfuse. Littelfuse has a number of connections with UIC, where Ken works, and therefore the keynote address will highlight technology at UIC. The following 5 to 7 minute presentation is Ken's introduction to the technical material that will immediately follow. Now please join me in welcoming Ken.
The Washington Post recently discussed a new computer piece of software that searches the scientific literature, patent literature, and other documents in English and in Mandarin to determine emerging technologies, technological trends. Do you remember the good old days when you didn't need a computer to find out what was going on? When you could discover the new technological trends all by yourself? You might be surprised to find out that there is a methodology, a good old-fashioned methodology that you know from your everyday life that can still be used to discover technological trends. A methodology that you're going to see in use later today when you see the technology that's going on here at UIC. To get an idea of what this technology is, instead of having to find technological trends, imagine you're charged with finding fashion trends. Now, if you're like me, the first thing you would do is go to a high-end department store, maybe Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom's, and you would go to, in my case, the men's department, particularly the sections where the designer clothes are. Why designers? Because designers are the people who are at the edge of clothing design because they need to make their business being first, being with it, being competitive. I would walk through the designer's clothes area and I would see, well, what catches my eye given my needs? If I were looking for ties, I'd walk by in Nordstrom's this enormous table with designer ties. I don't know if you've been to Nordstrom's men's department. If you have, you see they have a table there with hundreds of ties, an overwhelming number. But what I do is look at what catches my eye, get the visual impression of something and say, oh, that looks nice. I would pick it up. Maybe it's something you would do if you were checking out clothing. I would look at the material, see, is it silk, is it cotton, is it a blend? I would look at where it came from. Did it come from Italy, made in the United States, or made somewhere in the Far East? And I would look at an important key element, the price, right? You know what you were thinking that. And if I liked those key elements, the material, the place it was made, and the price, I might talk to the salesman to find out more, or if it was on one of those special designer days, talk to a designer rep. Would you be surprised to know that that same methodology that I use and you probably use when you go clothing shopping for fashionable clothes can be used to develop technology trends and understand them? Instead of going to a high-end department store, you go to a high-end research university like UIC. Instead of going to the designer clothes section, you look for the work done by funded researchers on the cutting edge of science. Make sense? Instead of looking at the bright colors on ties, because you're not in the tie business, You look at the visual schematics, photographs, or descriptions that the scientists provide. And if one of them catches your eye, you look at certain keywords. In the case of Littelfuse, those keywords might be sensors, nanomaterials, manufacturing. And these keywords would get your attention and draw you in. And lastly, you would ask not to speak to a salesman. You know there are no salesmen at university, right? No salesman there. You would ask to speak to the scientist doing the work. The methodology is exactly the same. Go to the right place. Speak to the right people. Look for the right keywords and the right visual elements, and that will bring you awareness of tech trends. This approach you will see in action today when 12 different technology presentations are made to you, all based on recommendations of department heads here at UIC. Department heads. Maybe UIC is a department store after all. We'll see that now.